Okay, so this is a clip from an old RF video shoot interview where Shawn Michaels is talking about Vince Russo.
We did the DX thing. We did all,
The midget skit. I was going to ask you. I guess you were really uncomfortable about doing that and bringing that out.
Well, I can remember Hunter and I joking about it one time because we didn't do it right after. We did it a little ways down the road. I can remember us joking about it one time, but we were talking purely in a sense of
Right.
that being way too much. You know what I mean? But sure enough, the fucking Russo wrote it.
Right.
What
was your relationship with Vince Russo? You like the guy? You think?
I liked him because I thought he was talented.
Right.
What I didn't like is that he forgot where he came from. I used to do way back when he was just a smart mark doing those his DJ thing
right,
in Nassau,
right.
And then him thinking that he's king shit. And I didn't like that he felt that he knew my character better than me, and that he knew the business better than all the boys. I didn't like that. He didn't handle himself properly. He didn't like one of his ideas. He pissed him on like a baby. So he wasn't professional. He would he'd bitch and moan. And the time that I was done wrestling, and Steve came up to me. It was right after we'd had the cage match with Vince. Next night on Raw, and Russo had him booked in a three-way triangle,
right?
Whatever the fuck it's called.
Triangle dance.
Yeah, whatever. And him came in, kid, come here. So what? And he goes, man, they got me doing this, that, and the other. He goes, what do you think of this? I think it sucks. And Russo said, what do you mean? I said, hey, you just asked me his opinion. I'm just telling you. I said, I just don't like it. He said, why? I said, because in my opinion, Steve Austin just beat up our boss in the cage match. He said he's white hot right now. For him to come out in a match like just another wrestler, I said, I think brings his value down.
Okay, he makes a good point at the end of the clip there. Yeah, Steve Austin beats up Vince in a cage, comes out the next night and just has a regular match. That doesn't really make sense. You got to try to go even more over the top, and it's yeah. I totally agree. I totally agree with what he's saying there. As far as like the whole midget storyline goes, I think he's talking about when Bret Hart left to go to WCW. He wasn't quite in WCW yet, and they made this whole big stink about, oh, Bret Hart is still under contract with WWE. He's going to be on Monday Night Raw. And then they introduce Bret Hart, and it turns out to be a little person dressed as Bret Hart. So he's trying to say like him and Hunter pitched the idea but weren't serious about it, and then Vince Russo ran with it. That's got that doesn't really fly with me. I know from what I've heard about Shawn Michaels back then and Triple H back then, I got to imagine that they brought it up because they wanted to do it. They wanted to do it. Whether it was in good taste or not, that's somebody else's opinion. I remember I was a 17-year-old kid at the time when that happened, and I thought it was pretty funny. I guess I'm the target demographic for Vince Russo writing, or I should say. I thought it was funny. I thought it was clever. But apparently in this clip, which this clip was only a few years after the incident. This is from the early 2000s, this RF video shoot. It was during Shawn's brief retirement, which was from like 97 to 01. So that's how old this clip is. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny. It sounds like he's just passing the buck off to Vince Russo in this clip. Now, Vince Russo, say what you want about Vince Russo. The dude has so much longevity in wrestling. Yeah, WCW was kind of a clusterfuck, but like he went on to TNA after that and had a really long run in TNA. And Jeff Jarrett seems to like him. Jeff Jarrett was the one who hired him. And those early years of TNA, pre-Hulk Hogan years of TNA were awesome. And Vince Russo was around for all of that. It's like those weekly pay-per-view years and then the early years on Spike TV. Totally awesome stuff. Love that TNA. My favorite era of TNA was probably like right when they went to Spike TV. Like the 06, 07, 08 TNA until like Hulk Hogan came. Even when Hulk Hogan came, it was interesting because it wasn't Hulk Hogan trying to be like Hulk Hogan, the wrestler. They made him like an authority figure. And it was a different take on it. It was just kind of, it didn't really hit with me as a fan, like as much as like the previous eras of TNA did. I still thought it was good stuff, but it wasn't like as groundbreaking as TNA was. It wasn't like the TNA I liked. It still had a lot of good matches, and then you had Kurt Angle over there tearing it up as well. Him and Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, but then like you had these like Sting and Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan, and it was kind of like, oh, why are you like, get off the screen already? I was enjoying it fine without you guys. Well, Sting was always there, but the other guys like, come on, get lost. But anyway, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of that whole little person incident with Vince Russo, and I don't know. I think like they pitched it to him because they wanted it on TV. Maybe they didn't want it as fast as they did, but they wanted it, and it was. I liked it when I was 17. I don't think almost 45-year-old me would like it, but 17-year-old me definitely was the target demographic for that skit. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.